They call it the longest river in the world. The Nile. For centuries, its waters have carried stories of life, civilization, and hope. But a few people stop to ask what happens to the Nile when the lake that feeds it begins to choke. Lake Victoria is Africa's largest freshwater lake, which breathes life into millions of people across Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. And here, at its northern edge, it gives birth to the mighty Nile. However, quietly, this life source is being poisoned, not by one great disaster, but by countless small ignored environmental problems. Just 600 meters from these shores lies the Nkumba dumping site, a direct silent threat to the lake's survival. When the Chitezi landfill erupted, over 1,700 tons of garbage from the capital city were diverted here. Much of it plastic, light enough to fly with wind, strong enough to last forever.
Nkumba dump site is located adjacent to the lake, but there is a big buffer of wetland which has been protecting, the leachate from going directly to the lake. It's a model. We chose the land technically because of that big wetland.
Every day, Lake Victoria is a workplace for fishermen, traders, and among many other economic activities, all chasing survival. But without control, these small acts pile up into a tide of pollution that flows northward. At Guda landing site, residents live side by side with the lake. It feeds them and also sustains them. But they have no toilet.
Tugenda omwo mu nsiko.
Kati mtemchitoa ntimchikose nyanja.
Tukikosa naye tetulina kyakukola.
So now Modesta tells me that the entire community of Guda landing site does not have a toilet. Though what I see is one which is under construction, and this calls for urgent attention. A community of over 1,000 people, they do not have a single latrine or a toilet. But just a little funds to have this constructed, and it's all done. Imagine how much pollution goes into Lake Victoria whenever it rains. Glad we've come on a hot day, but I'm wondering what really happens when it rains here. We can see human feces all over this place. It's not yet complete, but people are using it. There's a toilet which is there, but it's not complete. They do the excretion in this place here. Yes. What is happening?
Yes, but this is a private property that we are trying to see how we fix with the community. Originally, how they have lived. This has been a makeshift landing site. It's not necessarily been a designated landing site. So when you see us here, we are trying to rectify that and ensure that the people here can live in a decent or in an environment that is livable. Yes.
Abatuuze mwenna ab'oku mwalo gwaffe ogw'egguda tubakubira omulanga obutaddamu kwokya kasasiro emmotoka ejja kujjanga mukime tutaase obutonde aye tutaase n'obulamu bwaffe mukitegedde bannange.
My name is Nampicha Helen, Miss Conservation Buganda, Miss Tourism Bugere, first runners up.
Why are you here?
I'm here to do some cleaning and also sustain, telling people about how cleanliness is important and also help them to improve the environment.
The environment you're talking about is just about 100 meters away from us, and that's Lake Victoria. What does it mean to Mother Lake Victoria?
And it means more of let it be clean for us to have a better environment, because you look onto it, people don't keep it clean, and of which it comes back to us, making them sick, there's a lot going on. So we want to sensitize people about keeping it clean and also us, our own hygiene.
Well, across the Nile Basin, awareness is also spreading. With the support from GIZ in partnership with the Nile Basin Initiative, journalists from across the region came together. Their mission was to understand, investigate, and protect the river that connects us all, because protecting it begins with telling the right story.
Those certificates that you received today, that is an agreement, my friend. Therefore, you are our good ambassador of what you have learned. Help to save the future. Help to save the Nile Basin.
This is Nkumba dumping site. A few months ago, I came to this place before the diversion of the garbage that was coming from the capital city. This place was being suffocated because 1,700 tons of garbage that was being dumped here on a daily was quite a huge amount of garbage to be accommodated on a small piece of land. And just about 600 meters away from this dumping site is Mother Lake Victoria. So I am impressed by the new plan. After the diversion of that garbage, it is now receiving only garbage that comes from Entebbe municipality. Clear. If you can see right from the gate, there is a plan to control rainwater that comes from this side, and as well one which comes from this side. So they connect right here, and then it flows down there into the wetland. And if you can see, there is a plan this way, under this trench, to collect all the leachate that comes from the garbage, and it will flow through this trench, and then it will be collected down there for treatment and recycling. Clear. And again also, when you look at this side, there is going to be a recycling plant. All this garbage that is here will be recycled, and we shall get quite a number of products like manure and briquettes.
I'm Edward. At this Kasasu, we just pick it and take it there. Then there are some trader buyers. They can buy it. After sorting it, they buy it.
Recycling companies can divert up to 30% of waste from dumping sites, turning trash into treasure. But their efforts are being stifled by high operational costs, heavy taxes, and insufficient support. Corporate income tax. Recycling businesses are taxed on their profits, reducing the funds available for investment in modern technologies and infrastructure. Value added tax. They are subject to VAT on both the equipment needed for recycling process and the sale of the recycled products. Import duties. High import duties on specialized recycling equipment further increase operational costs, making it difficult for companies to modernize or expand their capacity. Licensing and compliance fees. Recycling companies often incur costs associated with obtaining operational licenses and adhering to regulatory requirements, adding further strain. However, policy support is critical. By offering tax holidays to recycling companies, Uganda can not only deal with the waste crisis but also create jobs, reduce costs, and also generate revenue for the country. The story of the Nile begins here, in the small streams, in the small communities, and in the small choices we make every day. If we protect the little things, the dump sites, the drains, the plastics, we protect the great river that defines who we are.